Basketball. I'll open it up for questions at this time. Yes, Briz.
Coach, can you recap what happened last week and your close game at home?
Yeah, we had a good week last week. Won 2 games, so always pleased when you can do that. Let's start off. We'll get into your question about Lee Summit here at home, but we'll start off with our Tuesday night game, which was our Coaches versus Cancer game, which was at Park Hill. And Coach Garrison and his staff and his program just did an excellent job of hosting that event, raising awareness for the American Cancer Society through Coaches versus Cancer, and that was a memorable night that hit close to home in our program, as some of you might know, I think it was just it was a good evening. We had 3 games that night. Our sophomores won, and our JV team won, and then the varsity team finished off a 3-0 night by winning by 10 against a pretty solid Park Hill team. So that night, Tuesday night, Eric Greeley led the way for us offensively with 19. He's played spectacularly and did a really nice job on both ends of the floor, scoring the ball, like I said, 19 points, but once again playing some phenomenal defense and rebounding the ball well. So that was Tuesday night, and we got some momentum going into Thursday night's game against Lee Summit. An odd night to play, but we were hosting Liberty Wrestling Invitational on Friday, Saturday, so our game got bumped up a night, which is fine, and played a team that also had some momentum in Lee Summit, who had on Tuesday night beaten Lee Summit North at North, so they're coming off a nice win also. And we got off to a really nice start offensively and defensively. I think going into the locker room at halftime, I believe it was 27-11, and we shot the ball particularly well in the first half, and 11 points in 16 minutes is what we gave up. So we played pretty good defense too, and we weren't comfortable. We were confident. We knew we needed to play another 16 minutes, but Lee Summit extended some zone defense and really gave us some fits. And early in the first half, we went on a 16-2 run, and in the second half, they went on an 18-0 run, I believe. And so, when those two, you have that run in the first half, that run in the second half, one by each team, you're going to have a close game. And so we gave up a really nice lead. But what I was proud of our guys, and I told them this after the game. I said, normally what you see is when a team gives up that big a lead, they don't win the game. And I gave them examples of that just off the top of my head. I remember some collapses that I've witnessed on TV or in person. And I was proud of our guys that they came back and never gave up the lead. And we played a good last minute of the game, tied up 46-all, and we weren't going to give them a shot to win it, but we were going to hold the ball and make sure we had the last opportunity to win it. And Kellen made a great pass to Max on the backside, and Max, we just knew he was going to make it. So we win by 2, and it was a good week. Other questions? Yes, Tom.
Coach, you've got Blue Springs South tonight. Really good team coming in here. Really athletic. What is your plan for attacking them?
Great question. What do you do with Blue Springs South? You hope and pray that they're not at their best, and hopefully we have something to do with that. Our game plan for tonight is we will start, and this isn't going to air before 7 o'clock, is it? Okay, all right. Well, hopefully they're not tuning in, because I'll give you our game plan right now. We'll start in the triangle and 2 defense. They've got 2 phenomenal guards, Pitts and Booker. They've also got other good guards too, but those 2 are particularly solid. So we're going to man them up, and then we've got to do a good job with Polk, the big kid that does a lot of damage around the basket. And So we're going to have a triangle kind of formed around him, and then, like I said, just kind of hope and pray that they're not at their best. And one of our philosophies have always been take away an opponent's strength and make them beat you with a weakness. I don't know if they necessarily have a weakness, but they do have quite a few strengths. And they obviously, like every team does, has some players that are better than others. And so we're going to have, if they're going to beat us tonight, it's going to be with some lesser players. We don't want Polk or Pitts or Booker to get loose on us so much. Offensively, we have to be smart with the basketball. We can't turn it over, and we have to control the tempo. If that means taking a minute off the clock before we shoot it, we do that. If that means taking a fast break opportunity when it's there, we do it. But just to try to frustrate them mentally on the defensive end, be very, very patient with the ball when we can, and don't turn it over. So those are the game plans on offense and defense for tonight. So don't air this before the game, please. Yes.
What players on JV are you looking for to step up next year?
Gosh, next year's a long time from now, but I think our JV team has had a really nice season. Our sophomore team, they're, I think, 11-3, and our freshmen under Coach Rouse and Coach Bowden have done a phenomenal job. And so we've got a nice group of young players that are coming up, and we're excited about that. With that being said, we're excited about these last 6 regular season games, and especially going into the playoffs. But to answer your questions, I think what you're kind of seeing here as of late, you've seen some of those JV players that have had a really solid year. Guys like Brandon Cardiff, Reese Wazell come in, and they got some significant minutes or important minutes here this past week, and that's a reward for them doing a good job during their JV seasons, that's part of it. You practice well and you play well, you're going to earn some time, and those guys have done that. And so most importantly, we're excited for our last 6 regular season games, our last 3 weeks, and then getting into the playoffs. But I'm more excited about that than I am next year. But come the end of March, once the season's over with, I'll be anxious for next season in the group we have coming up. Good question, though. Yes, Tom.
Coach, Eric Greeley's been coming off the bench for you most of the year. He made a real impact in that Park Hill game.
Yes.
Is there a chance that his role changes to a starting role?
Yes, he did start this past week, and so it did change.
Okay.
But because of his performance, because of Eric's performance, he earned that starting nod on Thursday. So he's just gotten better and better, Tom, and you've seen that. And so when players, it's different that rewards come at different times, and he had a really nice game. So he earned that starting nod on Thursday night against Lee Summit. And he'll start again tonight, too. Other questions? How about those Missouri Tigers? Going down to Texas. That was a good game. Yes, over here.
Describe Brandon Carter's performance last Thursday and what he brought to the team.
Brandon Carter, what he brings to the team. First of all, Brandon's a competitor, and that's what I like about him most. He really competes. He likes to win, and he's a good effort guy. Brandon's come a long, long way in many different aspects, and not just basketball. And I'm really proud of him. But he's got a knack for scoring. He's a good shooter, but he's got a certain ability that's very, very difficult, if not impossible, to coach on how and just being in the right spot in order to score. You can give a kid some advice and stuff on different aspects of the game, but the intangible of just kind of being in the right place at the right time. And one example of that is just being a really good rebounder. It's hard for me to teach being in the right place at the right time to get 12 rebounds a game. That's that's instinct on the player's behalf. Brandon's got that ability on the offensive end, and that's what's exciting about his game. Yes?
Coach, at this point in the season, you guys are a young team. You're coming down the stretch. Do you think this is the time when you guys have to play your top ability, and do you expect everyone to progress to this point?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. This is the time. This is the time where, I told the guys last night, practices get a little bit shorter, and so I expect the level of focus and concentration, execution, intensity to all be a little bit more crisp. And I could sense that we had a really nice practice last night, and I think that one of those things is, we are a younger team per se. However, we've got a very experienced group leading the way and on the floor, and we're quite a few games into this season, so some of the young kids that we're playing aren't necessarily young anymore. If they're a sophomore, you can bump them up to being a junior now with the number of game experiences that they've had. And we've got a nice bunch of kids that have been in the program for 4 years too, that know what it means to play well at this particular point in the season. So that's what's exciting, and I expect us to go out and win tonight based upon the practice that we had and the attitude that we practice with. It's going to be, and just how we went about our business yesterday. It's very motivating to me as a coach, and when that starts snowballing, then teams get on a roll, and we were witnesses to that last season. We won 11 out of our last 13 games. So we've got an opportunity to do something similar to that this year. I truly believe that. Yes, Riz.
Coach, if you had to pick one or two players that have progressed most over the season, who would you say that? Max
Francisco, without a doubt. Max has just had wow, what a year. I knew that he would. I knew that he'd put in the time and the effort to get these type of results, but to this extent. He's gone beyond my expectations, and I think part of the reason why is he's got some great teammates around him, and he'd be the first one to say that. They're getting him the ball where he can be successful, but what he's meant to us, is pretty spectacular, really, and averaging about 18 points a game and quite a few rebounds a game too, 7 or 8 rebounds a game. Plus, the number of minutes that he's playing. He's played hurt. I still have a picture on my phone of his swollen ankle that's about the size of a grapefruit. And when the day after he scored 30 points at Blue Springs South. We're kind of hoping he can duplicate that game tonight. He's been an all-star. He's been first team all conference type player, made some all tournament teams. He's had one of those years that is very worthy of some postseason awards, and I'm sure they'll be coming to him. He would be the first one to say too that he'd put those aside for a run in the playoffs too. So. Very pleased with Max. Well, hey, thank you for coming in this morning. Always enjoy this time. There's nothing better than talking basketball first thing in the morning and seeing you guys. You guys ask tremendous questions. So thank you to Channel 18 for all you do, and we'll see you down the road. Have a great day. Take care.
A big thank you to the following sponsors who made this press conference possible on KLPS Channel 18. IV, Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, Pony Express Bank, and The Landing.